First of all, it's never easy, squad announcements when you have to cut players. So, in a word, sum up your last 24 hours.
Well, I can't do it in a word, but I would say, always difficult to speak to players. You know that to go to a major tournament is a massive honour, and so it's always easier to give people good news around a first call-up or a first cap. But I have to say, all of the players that I spoke to yesterday, they were very professional, and they understood. I think we've given them very clear feedback and understanding, which I feel we always do with our players, and that maybe helps the process.
Jesse Lingard's been with you a long time through the ranks. Played so well in Russia, had just come back into things. How tough was it to have that conversation with Jesse Lingard?
Yeah, very difficult. He's done incredibly well to get anywhere back in the frame, really. You know, if we were going back to January, Jesse hadn't been involved with us for about 18 months, and he had a fabulous couple of months. But we've got really, incredible depth in those attacking areas, and he's just behind a couple of those others.
Having had to wait, have you got the 26 men you wanted?
Well, we're very excited by the squad. We are looking forward to working with them. The balance is important. Balance not only positionally, but age, experience, youth. At this moment I'm always thinking of the lads that haven't quite made it, of course, but we're very happy with the squad we're taking to a European Championship.
Many said 4 right backs into 3 doesn't go. Why all 4?
Well, firstly, they're in the 26 best footballers in our country, and they're positionally adaptable, and we need to have adaptability of formations. We've got players there that can play right wing back, right centre half in a 3, left back, as well as the position that they're playing more regularly for their clubs. They all play that position in a different way for their clubs as well. So we just see them as an important part of the whole picture.
Is it true that Trent Alexander-Arnold was always in your thinking?
Yes.
That he was pretty much going to make it, whatever?
He's known for a couple of weeks, so I'm bemused by some of the stories overnight, really.
Perhaps because you didn't select him for the last squad. I assume that's where some of that doubt came.
Well, I don't know. I have to accept that as England manager, some stories are written that just have no truth. So I don't know where people get their information, but I can't be involved in that. I think it creates a bit of anxiety for the players, because they maybe think that we speak to the media, brief the media. I don't. I never have. So whilst I have to accept things are written about me that are totally untrue, I think for the players that's a little bit more difficult sometimes.
In terms of players you feel particularly sorry for, as you say, it's never easy. Who springs to mind?
Well, all 3 of the guys who I had to leave out yesterday. Mason Greenwood, obviously, we lost on Friday after the Europa League final, so that would be disappointing to him. The other 3 boys, Ben White, Ben Godfrey, Aaron Ramsdale, they knew they were coming in to work with the team for a week, excited by that challenge. We're really pleased with them. They're already ahead of where they were when they came in terms of our thinking and our respect. So, and all of those will be involved in our 2 friendlies, and we just don't know what will happen. I've always got in my head at this point Trevor Sinclair, who was flying back from Japan and had to turn back round and ended up playing in that brilliant game in Sapporo. So I've talked to all of the players about that as well.
Is it a risk not having 3 out-and-out strikers, centre forwards?
Well, we've got Marcus Rashford in that group, who of course has played there a lot and has the versatility to come from the wide, which is probably where his favoured position is. There's a feeling with the 26 that you worry about coming unstuck in any position, because people say, well, they had 26 and they still ended up with not enough players in a certain role. So in some respects that could put a bit more pressure on, but essentially we've used those extra picks to go with some players that may not be fully fit for the beginning of the tournament, but we feel that they could have a big contribution, not only on the field but to the whole group with their experience and their leadership.
You're yet to see Harry Maguire in person. How fit is he?
He's got a bit to do. Our medical team have been over to Manchester. Of course, there's a few quarantine issues following the Europa League final, so our medics have been over working with him. I can't hide the fact that him and Hendo have got quite a bit to get through to be available for the first game. But as I said, we think that they can play a part in the tournament. We're going to have to keep assessing that, pushing them at the right rate, making sure that we don't go too quickly and break them.
Would they have been selected last week if you hadn't extended this deadline, Henderson and Maguire?
Probably, I think, but we certainly were very uncertain on Calvin Phillips, and his recovery has been incredible. So we're pleased we gave ourselves the extra time. I think one or two decisions became clearer. We lost a player that meant that there was a decision we didn't have to make, and we've also been able to see the group train and see the exact level that they're at.
How fit is Jordan Henderson? He hasn't played since February.
Well, he's back into training with the group, so he's had 3 or 4 days training with the group. He's got a bit to do. We know that he's not got the match fitness, not got the match sharpness. If we can get him to that sort of level, then it's a great bonus to have him available for the team. But regardless of that, he's already, with his leadership and his presence around the place, playing an important part for us.
If Harry Maguire isn't fit, it does change your system. Would it be fair to say it will mean that you are less likely to play 4 at the back?
Well, I think we've got to have flexibility anyway. We feel that maybe there are some teams that are really settled and know exactly their best team and exactly their best system, and we probably had that going into Russia, but we felt we wanted more adaptability this time, and we've obviously had more doubts in certain positions, and we've got real competition for places in others, and we need the depth of squad. Everybody will look at our attacking talent, but to be able to refresh the team, to be able to have people to change the game from the bench is going to be so important.
You've had 26, obviously, to be able to pick. If you'd only had 23, would Henderson or Maguire not have made it, or both?
Well, we've got 26, so it's no point me worrying about what 23 would have been.
But is there a bonus in that sense?
Well, I think with the 26, we had to decide how we were going to use those extra picks, and whether we would have taken some of those with 23, I don't know. We didn't have to work through that scenario, so impossible to say, really.
What odds on Harry Maguire making it, Gareth, for the first game would you put at the moment?
Difficult to say. He's definitely got quite a bit to do. We're right across his level now. We didn't have as much information last week. Our medical team have been over working with him. He'll be with us for the first game at Middlesbrough with the group, and we'll be able to have a lot more control over what he does in the next few weeks.
Players have emerged in the last year who wouldn't have been near the squad had the tournament taken place at the time it was meant to. Phil Foden chiefly among them. Has that delay given you a better squad?
I think it's given us a different squad, a different profile. We've obviously invested in young players, and that's going to benefit England not only now because some of those players are having an impact with us now, but for Qatar and for beyond Qatar. There are players here like Phil, like Jude Bellingham, like Bukayo Saka, who are going to be England internationals for a long time to come, and the more strong experiences they can pick up, caps in big matches, that's going to benefit England for the future.
Do you have a better squad than 3 years ago?
I think we have a different squad. We had more experienced players around then, and we still have that balance of youth and experience. We're excited by the type of football we can play with the players we've got, and we've got to just keep improving as a team all the time.
You're about to become the only man to play at a home tournament for England and then manage England at a home tournament. What does that mean?
Well, it's a privilege. It's an honour to be the manager of your country. I've always said that. I always bear in mind Bobby Robson, Ron Greenwood, Sir Alf Ramsey. To follow in those footsteps is an immense honour. So, I hope we continue to give the country a team that they can connect with and that they're excited to watch play. And of course, we've got to try to aim to win the tournament.
Yes, semi-finals in Russia, now a home tournament, which many fans expect even more from. Do you?
Well, we won't win just because we're at home. Home is a great feeling to be playing matches at Wembley. But we've seen over the last 12 months that home advantage with no crowds has been different. We've got some crowds in, which is great. We're looking forward to that. But you have to play well. You don't win any football match just because you're at home. It's great that our fans can go to Wembley and watch us play. I think that's the most exciting thing about it.
You've been there and experienced how wonderful a home tournament can be, and England's 2 home tournaments so far have been fantastic. What needs to be the players' attitude towards this unique experience that they're about to go through with a home tournament?
Well, I think this is a bit different because, of course, the beauty of '96 was not just our games. It's the fact that the football world came to England, and fans could go and see Italy at Anfield, and they could go and see Croatia play wherever, and they could see France playing at Old Trafford, and so that was what a home tournament was really about. This is a little bit different in that we're at home, so we don't have to get sidetracked by all the noise. We've got our matches at Wembley, which is brilliant for us, we've got to try to make the most of that advantage.
Your team in '96 was full of captains, leadership. Have you got that this time?
Well, we don't have that level of experienced professional. We've got guys who we're starting to piece together leaders. We're starting to get guys who, a couple of years ago we only had Jordan Henderson really, who was captain of his club. Harry Kane has obviously had a lot more captaincy experience with us. Harry Maguire is now captain at Manchester United, albeit only for a couple of years. And we've got Connor Cody in the squad, who's captain of his club. So I'd have to say it's not the same level of leadership experience as we had in '96, but that experience is growing, and we've got some young players who are going to be outstanding leaders in the future.
In March, you said you knew the team for the first match against Croatia, fitness permitting. Has anything changed?
We're pretty close to what we would have been thinking there. I mean, fitness, has changed, is changing things. We're very clear on what we want to do for Croatia, but we're also clear that players have a chance to influence that thinking, in the 2 friendlies we've got up here at Middlesbrough.
And as it all begins, what's your overriding priority when it comes to connecting this squad in the way that you feel is going to be best to get the right results?
Well, we've started well. The group of players that have been with us up to this point have firstly trained really well. They've enjoyed each other's company. They've, I think, loved coming to the North East. It's been a really relaxed atmosphere for us. We've been able to balance, in this time of so many restrictions when we've been in camps in the past, to have the sun out and be able to get outside, not be restricted inside, not have to have the face masks on inside all the time because we've been able to eat outside, things like that. I think that's been a relief to everybody. So I think we've thoroughly enjoyed the few days up here already.
And one final point, you've been there, selected in squads where the fitness of players has been in doubt. They've been selected. There's been a narrative going along with that, which can be distracting. Is that a concern?
No, because we're realistic that anything we get from these players is a bonus. We've selected a squad that can cope without the players that are injury doubts. And if we were looking the other way with a totally optimistic but unrealistic view, then that might be different. But we're realistic about it. If we can have them involved, we know they'll add to the team.
Looking forward to it?
Yeah, of course. It's a brilliant challenge.
Gareth, thank you very much. We wish you all the best, and of course see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Gabriel.